Vice has decided to get rid of its comments section on its articles. Now, Vice is all over the place, whether it's on television or online print, or even on YouTube. However, they have decided that while they will continue enabling comments on their YouTube channel and they will still read letters sent to them, they don't want to deal with the comment section on their written material. Now, I want to read you their notice about this in its entirety because I think it's really interesting and I'm curious to see whether you agree, Cenk. So they write, unfortunately, website comment sections are rarely at their best. Without moderators or fancy algorithms, they are prone to anarchy. Too often, they devolve into racist, misogynistic maelstroms where the loudest, most offensive, and stupidest opinions get pushed to the top and the more reasoned responses drowned out in the noise. While we always welcomed your thoughts on how we are actually a right-wing mouthpiece for the CIA, or how much better we were before we sold our dickless souls to the goals of capital, or the gods of capitalism, or just how shitty we are in general, we had to ban countless commenters over the years for threatening our writers and subjects, doxing private citizens, and engaging in hate speech against pretty much every group imaginable. Okay.
So it's a very hard question. So every once in a while, somebody on YouTube would be like, oh yeah, Young Turks couldn't stand my comment, they had to ban me. That's not true. We don't ban people. We don't erase your comments.
We don't have time. Like,
yeah, you think we're going into comment number 2,731 and be like, oh my God, I was so offended by this. Hey guys, let's stop doing what we're doing and ban this guy. Right? Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right.
So a part of me likes the maelstrom. Like get dirty, get in there to talk things out. And I think that in the long run, not in the short run, we're going to get to the right place. In the short run, it's a mess. We're not winning.
We're never going to get to the right place. It is anarchy.
I know you and I disagree on that. I'm an optimist. You not as much on that. But I think one of the things that is that don't get so offended by all the comments. They're just 15-year-olds that are like trying to get attention. And yeah, they said terrible things about Turks and blacks and Jews and Muslims and everyone, right? But when you don't take that idiot seriously, he's trying to get a rise out of you. So
yeah, look, okay, so I agree with you when it comes to the typical comments. Like for instance, you know, the soup du jour every day for me is that I'm a cunt, right? And so, okay, I'm a cunt. I don't mind. Like I call myself a cunt sometimes. Everyone acts cunty here and there, right? Okay. Men, women. We're all cunts time to time.
She just empowered the word.
Yes.
It just happened.
But that's fine. I don't mind that. But what flipped me on this issue, because I've always been against banning comments, despite how horrendous they've been, right? What flipped me on it was when they mentioned the doxing, right?
No, I know. But so I would view that as the exception rather than the rule. If you dox someone, there's legal ramifications. The internet is not divorced from the rest of reality. You still have to follow laws. A lot of these people are usually conservatives and keep claiming that they're for rule of law. And then they violate the law and go, what? I was on the internet. The internet is not Guantanamo. The laws still apply on the internet. So no, you can't dox people. And there are other things that are violations of the law that of course have ramifications.
I know,
That's
Cenk,
why,
but here's the reality, okay? These little like warriors online hide behind their like anonymous accounts and their eggs and their their nonsense avatars, and they're just like, oh my God, I'm gonna come after you, man. Like I'm such a big strong guy. And then they like share personal information. So how do you go after that person, right? Like legally speaking, you can't. There's really no action that you can take against them.
Theoretically, you could, and sometimes they're not as clever as they think they are, and oftentimes they get caught. Because they're 15, and some of them are. So, God, if you're older than 15 and you're doing that stuff, that's so sad. That's so sad. And you think you're so smart, like, yeah, you know, the government, when they're trying to catch people who've actually committed a crime, also have some smart people working for them, and they're professionals. So, okay, anyway. But so where I draw the line is, and why I think that Twitter has some trouble is, you've got to be able to connect it to a real account. That's my hope for the internet, that we could all get there. And so if you can do it anonymously, it just encourages bad behavior. So for example, if everybody had masks on, we'd have more bank robberies, Okay, I know it's a funny little example, and I'm not sure I'm going to study to back that up. But you see my point. If everybody had masks on, it encourages like people to do like wilder things. And so I saw Eyes Wide Shut. So on the other hand, if we can connect it to your account, well then you got to be a little bit more careful, because then what if they tell your employer, or what if they tell your wife, or what if they tell your mom, right? And so as long as we can connect it to real accounts, I think comments should be allowed, because I'm more optimistic. And I remember the good old days of the internet before the trolls, and that existed. And you would have really interesting debates in the comments section.
I know. And the debates are great, because the best part about that type of dialogue is if you have sided with one position, like it might open your mind up, right? And you might learn something. And I remember when I first started working here, a lot of my growth came from that. And then it just became so toxic that I stay away from it. I never read it. But I agree with you. Like if you ban the comment section, you also ban some actual progress in opinions, if you ask me.
Yeah, and I don't want to shut out outsider voices. And the internet's got plenty of outsider voices. But we do have to do it in a way where we don't encourage madness. And so I think the right line to draw is connect it to real accounts where we know who you are, then comment away like crazy. And if you're proud and you're, love to hate on others or whatever it is, okay, raise your hand, brother. All the guys who are always talking about free speech, free Nemo. Okay, find him and then free him, right? Okay, then raise your hand, brother. Tell me who you are. Well, aren't you proud? Why are you hiding?
Yeah.
Do you need a safe space? You're at the end of this clip, but you're not at the end of the Young Turks. If you become a member, you get the whole show, plus a whole nother show we shoot afterwards every single day called The Postgame. And that is wilder. It's much more personal. You're going to want to check it out. tytnetwork.com/join.